Hello everybody. I just wanted to do a quick video on my collection of mess kits, and let me just go right into it. It's not really a review, but just some information. Here's a Yugoslavia mess kit. Comes with a pot, kind of a bowl, and they connect together so you can maybe go through a chow line and get food. And then here's a smaller cup or bowl that you can also carry there. It comes with a canteen, the cup again, the bowl, and you always want to make sure that this tab goes on the opposite side of the pot handle. Again, there's the pot, and this is really sturdy stuff. So you want to make sure this is in the opposite side here so that this can close, and it's very snug. So I'm going to set this aside. And it does come with a really cool set of utensils. You got the spoon. It's pretty big. The fork's kind of small, but it does the job. And then the knife. The knife's pretty sharp as far as pointy, and then it's got a little serration here. So, I mean, it feels pretty sturdy. I mean, it's better than those cheapy sets you buy. It also has a can opener here, I'm sorry, and then the bottle opener. And again, like I said, those all nest together. And that whole kit comes with a canvas bag. I have it set aside, but it comes in a canvas bag and it kind of sits like that in there. So it's a really nice kit. But I'm going to set this aside because I want to show you what I like about the other kits I have. Now this kit I recently purchased on eBay, and it was listed as an East German mess kit. I honestly don't know if it's the real deal. I'm no expert by any means on these mess kits, but I just started collecting them recently. And then this is listed as a West German mess kit. Now they're both three-piece kits, and I'll show you that here in a second. So they're very similar in that they both have the pot with a handle for, say, cooking, and they're both similar in size, but the West German, as you can see, is a little bit deeper, and then they both have a second container, but however, the difference is that this one doesn't have a handle. This one does, so you can actually use this if you wanted to heat it in addition to this one. This one, however, this one having a handle and this one not, this is more like a bowl. Now they both connect to each other like so. Again, just like the Yugoslavia mess kit, where you can go through a chow line and get two different two different types of food. And also this one you can kind of sit there and do that, and then maybe even get three. I'm going to set that aside. This one also connects. I had to bend this little point just slightly so that it goes in there. It's kind of snug, but it does do the same thing. And I'm not sure if I guess you could do the same thing with it, just like that. Now again, I don't claim that these are authentic because I honestly don't know. I just started collecting them and they were very cheap, so I bought them. This one, this is the East German. It's very thin. I mean, everything, all the metal's very thin, and you could easily bend it. It flexes very easily. The other thing about this kit, the bail handle, if it's sitting like this, the bell handle will stop. So let's say you put it over some coals or something, you could keep the handle out of the fire. When it goes this way, it goes all the way down for storage. So if you put everything in there, and we're gonna take it, transport it, then I also have a little strap for it. So there's a strap that goes over it, and it stays pretty compact like that. But the design of this wire, it it stops there, so that if you, like, again, if you have it in the fire, this keeps the handle from going, you know, all the way down into the fire. So that'll keep it from getting hot, but it doesn't lock on the top, and it is kind of heavy like this. This might not matter to you, and just to show you, put something without any friction, and like if you were gonna hold it up like this, it wouldn't stay perpendicular. However, if you know, that's just for hanging it, but if you're actually using it, of course, you're gonna have you know, something in there like water or you know, some type of food that you're cooking, and it stays perpendicular with and especially if you had something in there, it's going to weigh it down. It's going to stay perpendicular like that. But again, like I said, this one's very thin, and I don't know if it's authentic. Also, the handle here, it doesn't really have any way of locking. It just kind of sits there. But I did buy a strap that I put in there, and it holds it still, so it works well like that. And again, this is listed as the East German mess kit. Oh, and it does have graduations on it. You can see there for when you're putting a liquid in there, and you can see them on the inside as well. So that would help you in measuring. If you were going to cook something that you needed to be slightly more precise, take some of the guesswork out. So again, that's the East German. The West German mess kit, again, the bowl does not have a handle, so you're limited on how you can use that. The handle does have this little tab in there, and that tab does engage with a little bump sticking out there, and you can kind of hear it. It kind of locks in place there. And then this thing also does the same thing as the East German as far as the handle goes, except that you can clearly see how it works here. The bump there prevents it from going all the way over, so it stays in that position. But there's an additional kind of cool thing. So this way, if you pull it straight up, it locks in place, and you can see there that once it locks, it doesn't go past that, so it stays vertical. And then that also helps, you know, if you're going to hang it over a fire and cook like that, it's going to stay vertical. But this one's a lot more sturdy. I mean, it's got flex in it, but it's a lot sturdier than this East German one. Again, to me, I think this one's a much better mess kit. But the only, I guess if you want to call it, lonely negative compared to this one is that this one's internal bowl also has a handle, so you can use it. You can use like 2 pots to cook 2 different things at the same time. And if you were to use this one in the fire, or you know, someplace where it's going to get very hot, you'd have to get maybe your multi-tool or something to pick it up. But in any case, I think this one's far superior to this one as far as the hinge here, how it works with a bell handle locking in place, and then with this tab here, it keeps it from falling over, and then again it locks in place here, so you don't necessarily need a belt. I do have a belt for it, and they're very similar in that respect. They both have well, this one has a notch, I mean a slot and a slot. This one has a notch and a slot, so they're otherwise very similar. As you can see, the one on the left, the Western, it's also taller. And again, I forgot to mention another thing on this one is that it also has the graduations on it for measuring, and those are also visible on the inside, just like the Eastern. So if I had to choose between these two, I guess I would still take the Western over the Eastern. It's just a little bit more robust, a little bit stronger. Now the last 2 mess kits, everyone's pretty familiar with the Swedish mess kit. You know, it comes with a Trangia stove and the alcohol bottle and all that stuff, and it comes with the windscreen, or once you put the stove in there, it acts as a windscreen so that you can cook your meals. But you know, setting that aside, I really like this mess kit, and I'm sure you've seen enough videos on the internet to know what these two bumps for on the bail handle. But let me get to that real quick here. So, and by the way, the other two that I mentioned, along with this one and the next one I'm going to show you, they all have this indentation here, so that the pot itself can be used as a lid for the other, well, I guess you'd call this a pan and that a pot, but if you were going to boil water or cook something, you could keep it, you know, keep the heat in, retain the heat better like that. So anyway, again, they all have this slight indentation so that they can be flipped over and used as lids to retain heat. Now this one, it also has these tabs on the handle so that if you were to put it in the fire, you can, you know, use a stick and, you know, lift it out of there. And that way you don't have to touch it with your hands. You can use even a long knife or something. You can stick through there and pick it up. Again, I think you've seen other videos where you use the second notch to put the handle through the little tab there. And then once you do that, these things, it kind of locks it in place so that you can pour, and you're not going to get this thing just swinging wildly where, you know, you'd spill hot water or a hot substance, you know, because you can't pour it otherwise, and you certainly can't touch it because it's hot. So that's a really nice benefit, is having that handle lock like that with this little hook. And that hook also allows it to hang vertically if you were going to hang it over a fire. Now this is a Swedish mess kit, and this is a later version. I don't know what the exact year is. There's a date on it. Well, mine actually says 5200, so I'm not sure what that means. And I think the windscreen has a number. It says NC66. I'm not sure if that's visible there. So I'm not sure if, I'm assuming that means 1966, but I'm not sure why this one says 5200 on it. And this one also says 5200 on the inside. So these are, I guess, a matching set, if you want to call it that. And then you're definitely going to see where all this stuff came from when I show you the next one. Now this is a very early Swedish mess kit that I recently picked up. It only has the one tab, the one little detent there, but it does have the same hook bell handle as the other one. It has a kidney-shaped design like the other ones I just showed you. The Swedish mess kit, the later one, just oval. Again, they all have that indentation so that the lid can be used, or actually the top pan can be used as a lid. This also has the little rings to put again, put a knife or a long slender stick through there to use it in a fire, something like that. But you can see there's some similarities and differences between these two. I think this one's this latest one I showed you is much older, I think, and it's much thicker too. They make these in stainless steel, but I have the aluminum version, and this one, the aluminum's much thicker. And I mean, this one I couldn't, not saying I could crush it with my hand, but I can bend it. And this one, it flexes a little bit, but it's a lot stronger. The aluminum is a lot thicker than this one. But again, you can see the early influence that this early model had on the later one here, the later one being on my right. This has a kind of a bent round wire. This is more of a flat piece of steel there. What else? It also has the bell handle with the hook, and you can use it in a similar fashion. It has enough flex to it that you can kind of put it in there like that, and when I hold these together like this, it does lock it in place so you can hear there's no rattling or shaking. Again, so that you can pour, and it makes it a lot easier to pour hot fluid. Because again, you know, without that, I mean, you can't pour it and you can't grab it and pour it. So that's a pretty handy little feature on these Swedish mess kits. The other thing too is that this pan, if you want to call it, it has a little lip here. It kind of locks really well with this, so that when you put it in there, I mean, it locks on there really good. And if, let's say that you wanted to, you could possibly make popcorn in this, because it locks in there really good. I mean, you can all that noise is the handle, but you can hear how there's no I can't really recreate it, but there's no wiggle there. I mean, it's on there very well. So when you take it off, you gotta really have to pull it. So you can just set it on there, but if you put it in at an angle, that little lip there catches on the inside of this lip, and it makes for a really snug fit. But anyway, there you have it. There's my these 4 similar mess kits. Like I said, I'm not including the Yugoslavia mess kit because it doesn't have a bell handle, so you can't really use it in the same manner as these. But you have the East German, the West German here, and then you have the 2 Swedish mess kits, the earlier version here and then the later version. And these are distinguished by the fact that they don't have an internal, the second, like these 2 have a second container. These don't. And then also they both have the bell handles with the hooks, and then they both have the handles, the pot handles with the D-rings to put a stick through them. Anyway, that's I guess that video turned out to be a lot longer than I wanted it to, but there's some differences between the 4 mess kits, the 4 that I primarily wanted to talk about. Anyway, thanks for watching.